So, with the sequel to Breath of the Wild coming out next year, me being a Zelda fan, have been getting myself hyped up for everything. So I started thinking, wouldn't it be cool if there was Zelda tabletop? Because I'm a D&D nerd and an RPG nerd at that. So I'm like looking, I'm like, well, maybe I can find some D&D source material for the Legend of Zelda. No, I found an entire system dedicated to Zelda, Reclaim the Wild, based on Breath of the Wild. So I started looking into it, and it's its own system, and the way they did it, I really like it. So naturally, I wanted to share this system and talk about it. And they have all their notes, and they keep going on with it. So June 8th is the most recent one, and it's not been that long ago since they've been updating stuff. They have a Discord, and I'm not being paid to do this at all. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm just doing it because I thought it was super cool. Very super cool. And you go over here, you can download all the PDFs, which I did because I want to run a game of this. I think it would be really cool because I like Legend of Zelda. I know a bunch of my friends do too, and I've been a DM/GM for a while now. So I'm really interested in this system that they came up with, and I want to share the PDFs on this video and talk about them, or at least briefly go over certain aspects of them anyway, because if I was to, well, some of my videos are super long, but if I was to go through the entire list of PDFs from start to finish, that would be a very long-winded video, and I'm not about it right now. See what the About section is. I haven't clicked on this yet. So yeah, About tells you the official blog for the role-playing system, what it is, freely distributive tabletop role-playing system made by fans for fans. So yeah, why should you play it? And I have not seen a place to donate yet, but I'm sure there is one somewhere. And if you like it, then it's always good to support people that are making the product that you like. So it's not official, speaking of that, unsupported by Nintendo. All associated trademarks or properties of Nintendo. The authors of the website do not make any claim to them. Yeah, they say support Nintendo's official releases, which I do because I like Legend of Zelda and I'm waiting on the new one to come out next year. So, yeah, I don't know if you can donate to them or not. It'd be cool if you did, or if you could. But I want to get into the PDFs and go into them a little bit, and basically order a cool rulebook first, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it, and I want to run a game of it. Like I said, not being paid to do this. Kudos to the people that made this, because it's really cool and I like it a lot. Like I said multiple times now. So yeah, with that, let's get into it. So here we finally come to the actual core rulebook of this. So, Legend of Zelda Reclaim the Wild tabletop role-playing game system. And going through it, you got the credits for the people that made it and various things. But what I want to focus on, because I'm not going to go through this entire book because that would take forever, because I'd want to go through every single thing, but we'll go through character creation, traits, and races. So to start that, well, I want to talk about the people that made it too, of course. So, yes, of course, you have everybody that play tested it, the information about it, developed by. So these are the people that you need to thank for making the system itself. Credits to all the artists that went into it. And from what I reckon, they're still doing this. So it gives you the various information, the introduction. So we need to go to page 12. We got the art up here. So, steps to creating a character. Now, to go over this quickly so that it doesn't take a super long amount of time, it's the same as creating a character in just about anything. You determine a concept and select a race. From there, it gets a little different because the leveling system for Reclaim the Wild is a little different. So you determine the concept, and here's some pitfalls. So if you want to be a lone wolf, evil, or incongruent, you may not mesh well with the rest of the party, and this will go into that. The races that you can play as, so Gerudo, Goron, Hylian, Rito, Sheikah, and Zora is the most likely choices. They also have Deku, Demon, Fairy, Subrosian, Talking Animal, and it's either Twi'lai or Twilight. Either one. But the traits here, everything in this game is not done with experience per se, but tokens of heroism. So in a sense, this creates making your character classless. There's no official class. Everything is unlocked via a system of perk points as far as I'm understanding it. And that's what really makes me want to run one of these games. Because I really like that. And the fact that it's a 2d6 system, which I haven't really ran before, but it goes in and explains exactly how to use these tokens of heroism. The example is if you need to increase something to a certain level, you have to match that. So if you want to take your Arcana trait from 4 to 5, well, you're going to 5, so it's going to cost 5. All traits max out as 10. And when you first start your character, I believe it says they can only, the maximum character creation is 5. But you can go past that after. And here it gives you like a quick trait purchase. So if you don't want to go through one by one painstakingly allot all 80 tokens, you can pick one of the pre-made sets of ways to buy in. So varied, jack of all trades, and so on. And it will give you different ways to spend these 80 tokens of heroism to improve on your skills that you've got. Your health, magic, and stamina. It tells you what you need to know about that. If you purchase traits without using a quick purchase, you may end up with a few tokens you simply can't find a good place for. Here's helping you use some points that you have left over, if you do. Selecting starting equipments, of course. And there's different rank equipments, which I really like. Pouch type, the starting slots in them. Oh yes, feats, spells, and techniques. You have 12 additional tokens to spend on feats, spells, and techniques. These tokens cannot be spent on traits. So all feats, spells, and techniques purchased during character creation, which costs 6 tokens or less. So there is your rules for starting a character. And these two are bought with tokens of heroism. talks about the average villager, what goes into making them, and determining the finishing touches on your character. So the name, age, appearance, and all that. And then you've got a little witch here on her broomstick. Things that you want to know about your character, so the personality and goals of your character that you created. I really like this section of the ties here. So if you want to just come up with something off the wall, you roll one of your d6s and it will give you what type of bond you have with a certain PC or NPC. And then under that, there is 6 more. So you could roll 2d6s and you should get 2. So bond of friendship, and then you roll 1, so it's a childhood friend of you. Your backstory. Character traits. So it goes into the 3 parts of the Triforce: power, wisdom, and courage. So power is going to focus on technical skills and physical strength. Wisdom, magical aptitude. Courage is self-assuredness. Things of this nature. So going into power, combat, so physical damage, things like that. And your hearts fall under power. So in Zelda, if you've played any of it, usually a heart has 4 little sections of it that it can go down, like in quarters. And I really like this because each point you put and get another heart, that's 4 HP, so it's also divided in quarters. You have other skills that go along with power. And wisdom, the big thing, is magic. So your magic power is the same way. For each point, you gain 4 magic power. And then courage, your big thing, is stamina. So you get 4 stamina points per point you have in stamina. This goes into everything that you'll need to know about it. Basic, your evasion, concentration, and guard stats. So in D&D terms, if you're thinking in that way, it would be like your AC. Jumping and lifting, and the races. So the primary races, you have the Gerudo. So the it's all basically Amazons of the desert, these beautiful women, and gives you their height, weight, lifespan, maturity, skin colors, eye colors, hair colors, and each race will have this. So their vulnerabilities and the bonuses you get for playing are Gerudo. So you treat heat waves or cold snaps as 2 ranks lower when calculating the effect on yourself. Minimum of 0. Walk through deep sands and other sand-based difficult terrain as if it were normal terrain. You use a technique, you pay 1 less stamina, which is pretty awesome. You have a knack for using command to tame animals, recruit companions. It tells you reasons you may want to play a Gerudo. The description of the Gerudo. So desert-dwelling Amazons. Playing a Gerudo. The characteristics of a Gerudo. The names that you may get from one, like Yaido. I'm not going to try to pronounce. Nah, not going to do it. I'm a simple redneck. I can't pronounce, so we're not going to get into that. And then of course the artwork, which the artists that worked that they got to use this are very awesome. I like a lot of the artwork in this. And the cool thing about the Gerudo is, in here, just rambling on, in the games they have phrases that they say. And here, they have incorporated that into the game. So a Vo is a man and a Vi is a woman. Which is, I like that a lot because it gives you more option when you play the Gerudo. Things to build upon. The same thing, you've got the Gorons. It'll do exactly like the Gerudo. You've got a comic here. The names for a Goron. Of course, you've got the Hylian, so your basic human. I'm not going to get into everything because it'll make the video really long. But the Rito, so the bird people, bird humanoids, all of that. And it'll have all the same things. The one that is a little unique is the Sheikah, because it goes in through all of this, and then at the end, I really like that picture too. At the end, it goes into the Yiga clan, which is in Breath of the Wild. So if you wanted to play a member of the Yiga clan, it makes sense that you would create a Sheikah, because they used to be one and the same. You've got the Zora. There's an older picture by Nintendo from an older game. And the secondary races. So the Deku, Demon, Fairy, Talking Animal, Subrosian, and Twili. I hate pronouncing things. I'm bad at it. But the Deku Scrub, Demon, Fairy, and it's all the same. I really like that picture too. Talking Animal. Get you a little barred weasel, I think. And that's a sea ferret. Yeah. Well, that's the artist. Okay. Talking Animal racial bonuses. So they get a little different than the others based on what you choose. And it gives you some options for examples to play. And then if I ever played, this is what I would probably play. A Twili, so the people from Twilight Princess, because I just think they're really cool. Always liked them, and Midna was one of my favorite NPCs from Zelda. Playing the game and earning tokens of heroism. So, everything that a GM would want to know, this supplement's got it. It even goes into spending them, earning feats and spells and techniques. So, in some cases, the GM may want to award heroes with certain things instead of tokens of heroism. Rolling traits. And everything is a 2d6 system. And the typical DCs of the 2d6 system, and this would be plus your modifier with the 2d6, so it goes from effortless to legendary. Okay, so another thing that I like, a roll of 1 on each die is not an automatic failure, but can certainly be played up for laughs. So there's no critical failures. Rolling 2d6, this is not an automatic success, so there's no critical successes. Luck rolls, extended challenges, actions in combat. So you get the picture. I'm not going to go through every single page in this book, even though we're about 76 pages in. So here we'll go to some of the other source material since we've done this one. So naturally, after looking at the core rule book, I want to look at the character sheet. So when we talked about tokens of heroism and what you could do with them, this is where they come into play. So your hearts, combat, and all of these traits and skills and things, you total them out. Now your HP, you remember take into consideration your hearts. If you have 3 hearts and each heart is worth 4 HP, 12. Maximum and temporary. Magic power, all of that. We didn't get into everything, like we didn't get into weapons and armor. But if you like the way this sounds, I'm sure that you might look it up for yourself. reactions, attack workspace, spells, all of that. So we could go into a lot more, but I'm not going to. But you see the basis of the character sheet. And I also really like the artwork. So on the power, you see the power, Triforce, Wisdom Triforce, Courage Triforce, and then you've got all the old symbols from the older games. I really like the character sheet, especially because of the artwork. So let's hop into the next PDF. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the Bestiary, since we've looked at the other two. So if we go through it, it's going to give us a bunch of classic enemies from the Legend of Zelda, and some of the newer ones from Breath of the Wild. It's also going to go into who did it. So this is who you need to thank for making this. And to everybody that did go into making this, I really enjoy your work. I want to GM this. So customizing foes' equipment, foes and races, goes into completely how you're going to want to make your foe. So you make their rank, turn them into bosses, and it gives you all the rules you would need on this. Bestiary itself, so your basic animals, cats, crows, chickens, dogs, cuckoos, horses, which that would be a cool one to have for a mount, of course. So your common rats, insects. Then you get into these Armos, stone statues crudely made to resemble ancient knights. So these are your enemies that we get into here, the more classical ones. Aquamentus, a boss, so they let you know if something's a boss or just regular. Just beetles here. The ranks that you want to throw at your party, of course. Stagnox. And I'm not going to try and pronounce all these names because it gets a little ridiculous, but you get the picture. Here we have traps. So it's got traps in here too. Blobs, bokoblins, which are one of my favorite enemies in Legend of Zelda series. And we get down through here. There's this particular thing that I want to show you, but it's on through the Bestiary here. Here we go. Dark Doppelganger. So it goes into preparing the doppelganger, and I really like doppelgangers too. So you can have Dark Link there. You can make a doppelganger of your PCs and throw that against them. And you can play a doppelganger here, playing a doppelganger. The Dark Nut, which is a powerful, powerful enemy. It goes into these too. The Knuckles, the Cannoneer. And if you go down through here, it's got the Dodongos, so the dinosaurs, fire-breathing dinosaurs from Ocarina of Time. Yoma, which are the parasitic spider-like things. I believe they're what killed the Great Deku Tree in Ocarina of Time. But this is the next thing I wanted to show you. This has the Guardians in it from Breath of the Wild, which is really cool. And one of the things you've been seeing on the sides here with most of these enemies is you have DCs for learning lore about these creatures. So it gives you the rank of difficulty and the lore that you want to give your players when they roll it. The different types of guardians, and it goes all the way up to the Stalker, which is a mini boss. So yeah, that's you can play a Keaton. So spirit creature tells you what you might want to do as a Keaton. So yeah, but this is the Bestiary, which you can get all their PDFs on their website. And I really like this so far. We'll go to the next PDF. The final PDF I want to show is the game supplement. So in this one, it's going to go into buildings and rules about that. The building types, amenities that you may have to pay for, all of that. Of course, you've always got the credits up here. So creating buildings and amenities is going to completely go into creating and upgrading your own building. What it's made of, everything, even deconstructing it. So the purpose of the building, whether you want to profit from it or non-profit building, like a public service. And then I really like this because in a D&D campaign that I ran, my players started their own business. And if they try to do that and reclaim the wild, then, well, this will come in very handy. We scroll on down, you see all this stuff. Building types. I want to show you, because I'm not trying to go into everything because that would make the video extremely long. But you can build a house. You can rent it out. You can make an inn. And then library. What I really want to show you is a thing down here. And it is the prices that it's got. Okay, yeah. So even if you look at this, you get an idea of a price for what you would want it for. So a port, this would be the cost of your fare across the harbor to another world seas, all that. Then shop type, what it sells. So yeah, that's what this book is. And they're still coming out with these, I reckon, pretty well. Towers and walls, workshops, cost of services. So you could use these too, like for the cost for your player. If they went to one instead of buying one, it's also the cost for selling. List of amenities and required materials. So what you need to make certain things. I really like that artwork too, by David Ravoy. But yeah, this is a very interesting system, and I'm glad I found it, and I really want to GM a game of it. And I hope if you made it this far in the video that you would find this enjoyable too. And I have not been paid to do this at all. I just did it because I thought the system was really cool, and I like Legend of Zelda. So yeah, have a good day.